Okay, I'm here. Calm down, everybody. I know you're out there rioting, throwing an absolute hissy fit. Anyway, hi, everybody. Welcome in. I need my chat open. Welcome to the chat show. It's time for a chat show. Oh, goodness gracious. I got my multivitamins, my gummies. Multivitamin gummies. Yum, yum, yum. Fiber gummies. You do fiber gummies? Anybody? You're getting old? Gotta do fiber? What's up? What's up? What's up? Got some people over here from the line, which is always cool. Good to see y'all here. Staining wood for a new shelf for my bathroom closet. Yeah, that sounds crazy exciting. Yeah, totally. What's up, Drea? Hi, Naomi. Hello, Viren. Of course, Fuzzy Logic. What's up? What's up? What's up? Quantum Chaos. Mabs. It's a good crowd today. Get this stuff switched around a little bit here. Hell yeah, dude. What's everybody been up to? It's been like 10 days. Mab says, I find Raisin Bran does the trick for cereal, or for fiber. My problem is that I cannot restrain myself when there's Raisin Bran. I will legitimately eat like 4 bowls of Raisin Bran consecutively. So that I'll buy it every once in a while. You're dressed very fall-like. Thank you. That's kind of the vibes. It's honestly legitimately just chilly in my house. We're getting to this place now in the year where it's getting down to like 30 something degrees at night. Like we're not freezing at night yet, but it's in the 30s now, 30s, 40s. And it gets warmer during the day, but so I wake up in the morning and it's really chilly in here. Because we haven't started kicking on the heaters yet. So partially because like it gets warm enough during the day, and if the sun is out, then this building is not very well insulated.
Drea has
honestly.
donated $50. Happy Wednesday.
Drea, thank you so much for the $50 dono. Happy Wednesday indeed. Ooh, appreciate that. Definitely always good to be making money. Appreciate it when people have enough to share. We do have the treasure chest today, and I'm excited to see what's in there. It's gonna be good. Just noticed the hat, Memento Mori. Indeed, Memento Mori. We just met someone in person who was an Unis Honest fan as well, so that was cool. Yeah, but I'm like, it's hoodie time, it's beanie time. We might lose the beanie if it gets warm in here because like the door is shut and you know I have all my lights on and everything. I was excited to get to bother you on the Zoom call this weekend, and then I was driving the whole call and couldn't. No. Yeah, and I don't know when I'm gonna next be on. So we do on the line Patreon. We have like an exclusive Q&A that we do once a month, but since we have like more than 20 hosts, it's kind of like I'm not even sure that it is something that I'm gonna end up doing more than once a year because we have plenty of hosts, and I don't even know if I'm the most desirable for a private Q&A since y'all can come on here and ask me questions as well. Lux, you should add a scarf to your shop. I would totally rock a Tranarchy scarf. I don't know if that was a thing when I set up my merch store. I can check. Not certain. Hello, Jenny Starbush. Interesting name. Good to see you. That much fiber at once. Yeah, I'm not really concerned that eating 4 bowls of Raisin Bran in a row would mess up my digestion. It's more that I lack self-control, and eating that much at one time is just not good, and eating that much carbs at one time is not good for me specifically because of my health issues. The other night, I was hanging out with my partner. It was our anniversary this weekend. So we were hanging out, and we had a little bit to drink. Not very much, though. I had 2 gin and tonics, which is not very much. I only put 1 shot of gin in each one, right? It was not a huge amount of alcohol. But because I also binged on pizza, I've both felt and appeared to be a person who had drank too much. I was like, I am so sleepy. And my partner was like, do you need water? And I was like, yeah. And then I was like, will you bring me some olives too? It's like, I do that for him when he drinks too much. I'll bring him some pickles or something, and I'll be like, hey, you really need to eat before we go to bed. Let's go. Like, most of the time, I'm also like, he falls asleep in his chair anyway, but then you add drinking to the mix, and it's difficult to get him to wake up and come to bed. So he fair play turnabout did the same for me, even though my main problem was that I was in a carb coma, a little bit of a carb coma. Eating an entire box of cereal can be a problem I have sometimes. Exactly. It's so easy. And I love Raisin Bran. Like, I legitimately can just, like, I eat the first bowl, and then there's still a bunch of milk left. And so I just keep pouring cereal until the milk is basically gone. Like, that's how we operate. Let me see. Does this have any scarf options? Create new product. Let's see. Like accessories. I have gotten a couple of different merch purchases recently, which I appreciate. I haven't really decided. Okay. I was about to say, I haven't really decided how I'm going to move forward with the merchandise. I do kind of feel like I want to keep the gender anarchy stuff, but like maybe just fewer items. Maybe only like the flagship items, like a hoodie, a t-shirt, and like one or two accessories. Because I am going to move forward with the Musing Moss channel, which means I need to get the art finalized for that. I have a pretty good solid idea. I just need to find an artist to finish executing on the idea. Partially because there's this new double upload feature that they have where like you can like upload and tag another account, and it shows up in the subscription box for both channels, and like it gets recommended to both channels roughly equally, I think. So I'm gonna basically do Musing Moss separate from Luxander, and so I'll have the ability to go like tag my own channel, Musing Moss and Luxander, double upload kind of thing. And yeah, work on the merch for that as well. So there's going to be merchandise of the Musing Moss logo. And then, see, the thing is, like, I don't want to use the gender anarchy symbol for the channel symbol per se. I think I want to go ahead and switch it to a newer, updated picture of my face, probably, for the Luxander channel. I don't know, though. So that raises a question of, like, you know, what is the primary merchandise? I guess the primary merchandise for the Luxander channel is still the gender anarchy symbol. I don't see a scarf. I can do a bandana. Yeah, I don't see anything on here that would indicate that I have the ability to make scarves in my merch store. Unfortunate, but thank you to the people who have purchased merch before. I try to, you know, make sure with the one Tranarchy symbol that I have there, I tried to make it available in as many different formats as possible. Still looking to see if there's anything even remotely scarf-like besides the bandana. Nope, that's pretty much it. Okay, those are my options. You should sell crochet stuff. I have a little bit. I've sold a couple of things that I've made. The thing is that crochet is like not very efficient time-wise. It's also not very efficient as far as how much yarn goes in like per square inch. So basically a lot of people who do fiber arts don't sell crochet because in order for them to make the correct amount of money, they would have to charge an enormous amount of money, you know? Like, I have a scarf that I would love to sell. I'm thinking about doing it, actually. And, like, if I sold it for $80, that would be dramatically underpriced for how much time I spent making it. Like, the yarn itself, I think, is, like, $10. So that's a really cheap yarn. $10 for, like, a pretty big scarf. Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely buy a bandana. Okay. For me, the problem is chips. If I open a bag, I will eat it all in seconds. Yeah. What I did, John, is I've started buying these, not sponsored or anything, but Quest brand products, like snack products. They have cookies and muffins and stuff like that, and they have chips. So it's like a protein additive chip where, yeah, you're like, basically, it feels like eating Doritos, different flavors of Doritos, but they are protein and a relatively small bag. So you're kind of limited and you can just crush a bag and be like, there was a little snack. Also, it was nutritionally beneficial to me. So, ooh, I want to just ask you really quick to, if you haven't hit the like button, would you consider doing that really fast? And I'm also going to try something here that I haven't tried here yet. I've been doing it on the line. And I'm trying to get people to, I'm trying to get more interaction with the stream. And so answering a poll in chat is one form of interaction. And then also hitting the like button is a form of interaction. And that helps tell YouTube to send more people here. What I would love is for my just chilling streams to get like a casual 100 viewers. You know, that's really what the goal is for me, is to, you know, have a decent number of people hanging out and, you know, getting like a proportional volume of super chats and all that kind of stuff to, you know, make money providing a chill environment as one of my ways of making money. Oh my God. So I'm going to put a poll in the chat really quick. Oh my God, my eyeball. Okay. Jenny hit like as soon as they got here. Good job. I approve. Okay. So part of the logic for me behind this is also that this poll, like every new person who enters the chat will get prompted with this poll as soon as they come in. So it's also like prompting people as soon as they come in to hit the like button. So yeah, I don't know. I'm trying new things. We're trying to be successful at our YouTube job. Let's get the chat back up. Hello, welcome. Okay, yeah, there was the donation from Drea earlier. Yeah. What, you mean artists expect to be paid for their work? I don't know if I necessarily consider our hangout streams to be a form of art, but I guess, yeah, you're supporting not only the work that I do on stream, you're also supporting the work that I do creating my other content. No one wants to buy crochet for what it's actually worth. I've had people offer me $10 for my amigurumi when it cost me double that to make it, at least. Totally. Yeah, they think like, oh, it's just a little plushie, you know, whatever. But it's like the yarn for that little plushie is probably like $5 on its own. And then it takes probably at least an hour to make it. And so $15 for an hour of work, you know, like, especially if it's got multiple colors, because you're also like, you know, having to sew in all of your ends and attach these different parts together and everything. So yeah, amigurumi, even a little guy like this, I would expect to be at least $20 to respect the time of the artist. But you can't necessarily charge that. Lots of people undercharge for their fiber arts, especially crochet. Oh yeah, the crochet. Okay, I see what you mean. The crochet. Artists expecting to be paid for their work. Yeah, crazy. Handcrafts can be like that. I've had people interested in my chainmail work, but it can be so time consuming to produce. I think I would actually love to get into chainmail, partially because, so TLDR, TMI, I guess, TMI is what I was going for. I got my nipples pierced last year. So I like the idea of wearing chainmail necklaces, especially ones that you could potentially like very gently, very loosely attach to the existing jewelry that you're wearing. But yeah, so it's expensive, so I don't necessarily want to buy it from someone, and the style is not necessarily going to be exactly what I'm looking for, and it has to be designed in such a way that you don't accidentally get stuck on something. Yeah, so it may be something that I need to have custom done for myself. Uh, I've done jewelry before. It's so easy to like take chains apart and put chains back together. It seems like magic to someone who doesn't do it on a very like I showed my younger sibling. I was like, "Oh, do you want me to switch out this thing like on this like chain or necklace or something?" And they were like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, let me grab some of the jeweler's pliers that we have." And I was just like, "Meh. There it is. It's open. Let's swap it out. Swap it back on. Meh. There we go. Easy." TLDR got nipples pierced makes it sound like wacky hijinks occurred. I mean, there is a story, right? There is a story behind it, and after, and then like the entire 10 months that I've been healing, there is a story. But yeah, too long didn't read. Someone offered me $10 for a 16-inch tall Sam doll from Trick or Treat. Oh my god, a 16-inch doll. So you made a doll that was like this big, and they were like, yeah, I'll offer you $10 for it. Bro, I would have laughed too. Yeah. Byron says, my grandmother was known for her crochet. She frequently made Afghan blankets, including specially made for certain people. She made mine extra large. You know that there's extra love in that. I've made a baby blanket before. I'm not really a blanket person. Shit gets really repetitive really fast. I make amigurumi or like small scale stuff. Like, where do I have anything in my? Oh yeah, here. I have this. Like, I have a basket full of these leaves that I was gonna make a shirt out of, but I think instead I'm gonna just go ahead and make a garland. So I like making little stuff like that. And I have this dress that I've been in the process of making. It's hanging out on my desk right now. Also got my nips done about 2 years ago. I love them. Melanie, when did yours calm the fuck down? Because I got mine done around Thanksgiving last year, so like end of November, and now it's mid-October, and they're still so angry sometimes. Like, why are you so angry? Please calm down. Yeah, it's a little bit of an issue at times. I'm still scared to pierce my nipples, but I wanna. Okay, so yes, it does hurt. I want to be totally clear. Now, there are people who are like, oh, I have less sensitive nips anyway, and God bless those people. I also think I misunderstood, like, so one side of my chest is more sensitive, like in a tactile sense, like in a light touch sense. But the other side is more sensitive in like a deep tissue sense. And so I had him do the sensitive one first, like thinking, like I didn't understand that one side was actually more sensitive in a deep tissue way until I have been in this healing process and getting it pierced at the first place. Like, oh my fucking God, it hurt so bad. And then I spent my entire rest of my day like just kind of stuck. I was like, I can't really do a lot. We were playing World of Warcraft and I was like, just like the entire day it hurt. I know people who did not have that experience. My friend from the Renaissance Festival, I was telling her about it and she was like, oh, mine didn't hurt that bad. I like woke up the next day on my stomach. Like I slept on them by accident. I was like, okay, can't relate. The second day was a lot better. But that first day I was just like, it definitely hurts when you whack them. You got to be careful not to snag them on stuff. Maybe that'll be better once they're like fully healed, actually. But yeah, I'm certainly taking the full fucking 12 months to heal at least. Calm your tits. I'm trying, but they've been angry since I got the nips pierced. Exactly. They're so angry all the time. If I'd been smart, I should have gotten my nips pierced right after my top surgery when I had zero feeling. Yeah, but it's good to not compound healing. Like, I was just telling my partner, you know, we were driving past a tattoo parlor, and I'm like, I don't have any plans to get any more work done until my shit is done healing. Like, no, 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 no. I've had my nipples done for 4 years and they still have their days. Well, does that mean, are they never fully actually healed? Like, is there always going to be some amount of risk to, you know, having someone put their mouth on them or something? Like, is that just forever? I want to get a tattoo. Yeah, tattoos are fun. I think they heal a little bit easier. It sort of depends on how big the tattoo is, but body modification is fun. But yeah, like what else is going on? I didn't really intend to get on a tangent about nipple piercings. But 44 people are here for the nipple piercing conversations. Where? Okay, so they changed the back end a little bit. So I can't actually see the likes in the same way that I used to be able to see the likes. Where is it? I don't actually know if I even can see that anymore. Oh, there we go. Okay. There's 44 viewers and 48 likes. Nice. What hurts more, belly button or nipples? Nipples by far. Oh my God, by far. Okay, so the thing about your belly button is that the part that gets pierced, like the part above your belly button, it's just a little skin flap. Like it's basically the same as your earlobe. Like it's just a little flippy flap of skin. It's not a big deal. Like it is super not a big deal. It's a 6-week heal on that piercing. Like it takes the normal amount of time to heal that anything else takes. But the nipple piercing is like you have a concentrated amount of nerves there. There's also a lot of blood flow to that area. Like the increased amount of soft tissue. Like it's a soft tissue piercing. It's not just a skin tag piercing. It's like a soft tissue piercing. So it fucking hurts. It can take 6 to 12 months or longer to fully heal. Yeah, if you take them out, you're basically going to have to redo them because they close back up really quickly. Yeah. It's a wild fucking time. I'm planning to go to the Rent Fair for the Halloween weekend. I think I'm going to do my succubus look with simple dark corset, peasant blouse, twill skirt. Ooh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, TRF is going on right now, right? Or it's about to start, something like that. There's usually a little bit of overlap between TRF and KCRF, which I know KCRF this past weekend. Skin tag piercing. Well, I don't mean like a skin tag like a mole thing. I don't know what the word is for it, but it's like the flap. Like your earlobe is just a flap of skin. That's kind of what I was trying to refer to. Michelle says, in other words, don't go skating because you could break your ankle and need surgery. I've had to get 5 of my piercings redone. Maybe I need to have just like a collection of plastic ones to put in like on short notice. Because if you put like plastic or silicone in, then you can get surgery, right? The problem is that it's metal. Anyway, can you get them both done at the same time? Yeah, you can get both nipples done at the same time, which is what I did. It's actually, people say it's better that way because then you're not like having to deal with going through the whole ordeal again, like the adrenaline and the stress of that. Like some people, I don't know, for me, my body does not like it. Too much stress. Faulty says, I just went through my third 8-hour session on my sleeve, and I recommend tattoos even more than I did before. Nice. Later, Quantum Chaos. Have fun out there. Yes, finally arrived just in time for nipple piercing convo. Yep. Hoot finally has time to watch a Lux stream. Hell yes. I did also just skip 2 streams. I had one stream I skipped because I went on Matt Dillahunty's show on Wednesday, and then I had my anniversary this weekend. We went to a pumpkin patch, and we had a little date, and it was a lot of fun. It was really nice. It was piss raining, but we had a good time. Imagine chickening out halfway through and only getting one. I'm certain that's happened to people where they get the first one done and they're like, oh fuck, that's way too painful. Like, oh no, that hurt too bad. I can't do the second one. I'm like, definitely. And look, it's cute. Some people like the look of only one. Some people are like, I'll get the other one done later. Like, you know, it's everybody's got their own thing going on. Mama asks, how do you get into tattoos when you have none and all your ideas for tattoos are crazy elaborate? Like, I want to start small, but I can't think of a small thing. If it wasn't known as a career killer, I would love to get one of those neck tattoos that goes right up your jawline, like a high, tight collar. So I would suggest, and this is just, take this as you will, and please don't feel obligated or influenced in any way. But as a suggestion that I would make, if you're just like, I want to start on getting tattoos, but I don't necessarily want to like dive fully into like an 8-hour session for a $1,600 tattoo or whatever. You could always just do a flash sale and start with something really small that you could easily cover up later. Like, you know, Friday the 13th things where they'll have a sheet of paper that's like, you can get one of these tattoos and it's going to look exactly like that and it's going to be exactly this size and you can get it wherever. I've seen some Halloween oriented ones recently, like flash sales. I considered getting one. I didn't end up getting one, but like you could just start with something small that isn't super meaningful, just to like get things going. But you know, that's assuming that you are like, I want to get tattoos, but I don't want to start with a fucking big elaborate 8-hour session. You could just start with something small. My first tattoo was a gender symbol, kind of like, you know, the male and female and transgender symbols. It was a spin on that. I think I want to get it covered up now, but it was a really small. That was my first tattoo. Small black line work, easy. And I still haven't gotten really anything like big or super duper colorful. Like all of my tattoos on my upper body, where I have 4 tattoos, those are all black. And then I have my color one on my leg now. But even that is like a relatively small tattoo. And it's like not really art. Like it's a symbol from an anime. But I would like to get some more art. I like the idea of getting more thigh tattoos, especially. And I like the idea of getting like rib cage and under boob tattoos. That seems like it would be a lot of fun. But I need to start a new relationship with a new tattoo artist because I don't think I want to be limited to, I am only ever going to get tattooed at my one parlor that I guess like technically I've been to like 2 different tattoo parlors, but the one that I have recently been going to and really liked back home, I get it. I know why people do that. People are like, oh, I'm going back to my hometown and I have an appointment with my tattoo artist. I just don't want to be like limited in that way. So I need to find some new tattoo artists up here. Good night, M. Davis. Sakura Blossom says, wanted to say, hey, I really have enjoyed and appreciate you and what you do for years now, but typically I just lurk. It's been really nice seeing you produce more on the line. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. I appreciate it. And like much love to the lurkers. I am a lurker if I'm ever in chat. I try really hard at least not to like sometimes it's hard when you're on a live stream to not be like I have something to say every 10 seconds. But yeah, I appreciate the lurkers and you do good stuff. Hoot says, I personally decided on a tattoo that may have been ambitious for a first timer, stick and poke with lots of line art details, but what got me through it was the fact that it was in honor of my late grandmother who I deeply cherished. I know even if it was a bit much, the pain would be worth it. Hell yeah. It's cool getting like those meaningful tattoos. So I couldn't deal with that. Melanie says there's a shop. Well, yeah, I've seen shops who do this as well. They do like get whatever you get tattoos. You could like roll a 100-sided die, and whatever number you roll, that's the tattoo you get. I've also seen them do it in like gumball dispensers where they'll have the little plastic like cup things, little tiny plastic things you can pop the top off of, and like they'll have a number or a picture or something on the inside, so it's like you get it out of a machine. I couldn't handle that. I am not brave enough to be like, yeah, let me get a random tattoo. I can't deal with it. I would not be cool. I appreciate the bravery that goes into that, but it is not for me. I hear ribcage tats are the worst because it's a sensitive area right on top of the bone. Yeah, well, yeah. I have already gotten a tattoo right here, which is right on top of a bunch of bones. Also, this one right here, this part. So obviously the whole thing was not great, but this part right here fucking sucked. Look at where that is right on the inside of my elbow. Oh my god, that bitch hurt. And then I also got this one, which is like right up on my collarbone. This is like literally, so my collarbone is right here and it stops. Okay, so my finger is like just under my collarbone and it's right on top of the tattoo there. So I am used to getting my tattoos in dumb fucking locations where they hurt really bad. I'm not a smart person. And it hurts. Like, I'm not like, yay, a tattoo. I'm not one of those people who's like falling asleep in a tattoo. I'm one of those people that's like, and then and like I finally relax and my tattoo artist is like, so what about that TV show? Like, yeah, my tattoo guy, we have just enough television and stuff in common that we can chat. So I guess that's a good thing. Find a tattoo artist who is on your level. Like either they're gonna talk the amount that you want to talk and you've got the stuff in common to talk about. Like one of the first times I went to see him was right after season 1 of House of the Dragon. So we had like a lot of shit to talk about. And then the next time I came to see him was like after season 2, but he hadn't watched it. And I was like, man, that sucks. Like, and he was like, oh, did you watch the Fallout show? And I was like, no. Like, we have less to talk about this time. The ribcage underboob is awesome. I want to get an octopus on my side and have the tentacles framing the underboob. Cephalopods are so cool. I like cephalopod tattoos on the thighs. Like Merrick has a some like octopus art on her thighs, and I like that a lot. I don't think I would want to get it for myself, but it is really sexy. Being able to chat with my artist for 8 hours straight for each session has been absolutely wonderful. Yeah, I don't think I have the fortitude for 8 hours. I think I would need to cap it at like 4. I think like after 4 hours, I don't know. Maybe if we take like a 30-minute break, I know I'm paying for that time. But if we were to take like a nice long break in the middle, then maybe. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. I'm a burpy baby. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. That's gross. Hey, we're so close to 69 likes right now. Wow. I guess the poll in chat is working, getting people on the hitting the like button train. We still have about the normal number of viewers, which makes sense. I'd love to get some Cthulhu art. Yeah. Do you guys know fucking, oh my god, Nasty? You guys know Nasty? I don't even know if I can pull up any of their art on on stream right now. Let's see. Has Nasty posted anything that is even remotely puttable, onable, screenable? Nasty does a lot of porn, but they have this character that has like a lot of extra eyeballs, and it reminds me a lot. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna be able to show much of any of this. It reminds me a lot of Pride from Full Metal Alchemist. You know, Pride has all these like eyes and like mouth stuff. One of Nasty's main recurring characters also has like a lot of extra eyes on its body that can kind of go away and come back at will. And I like the idea of taking my existing I have the symbol of the homunculus on my thigh where the character Envy has theirs. I have this little symbol right here, but it's on my leg. And I was kind of thinking about including some more around it of like incorporating some of this bullshit. But I don't know. That's just an idea. Hey, Drea got to be the 69th like. Congratulations. You're our first dono and our 69th like. I voted no even though I did hit the like button. I'm a troll. Listen, I gotta keep the options available for you cretins. Oh no, my tea is empty. I wanted more tea. That's so sad. Later, mama. Have fun. I think I forgot to put lemon in my water earlier. It is completely unlemoned. That's crazy. I wish I had tea. Yeah, totally. Hey. Lots of people just came in. How's it going, everybody? Listen, I know I'm like a political streamer and stuff, or like a political commentator. I'm not really hammering on any particular political topic tonight. I mean, I guess if there's anything that anybody wants to float, like if there's any news that I didn't hear about that y'all think is like super pressing, but honestly, I feel like the news is a little bit slow right now. You know, there's all this talk about Portland and Chicago. I think stuff actually probably is really bad in Chicago. It's kind of the overall impression that I'm getting right now is that they are kind of under attack there. Whereas in Portland, like most of the news I'm getting out of Portland is just look at the incredibly large and growing number of goofy ass protesters who are trying to take the wind out of the sails of everybody trying to say how disturbing it is, the war zone in Portland. And for fucking Mike Johnson to say like that the naked bike ride was like the most threatening thing he's seen. Like, bro, literally people who couldn't possibly be hiding weapons because they're fucking naked going on a bike ride, which the naked bike ride in Portland is a protest that they have every summer. It's like a protest event, kind of like Pride. And they had an emergency, not to the same event, like because they already did the naked bike ride earlier this summer, but they held an emergency protest. And this is like, again, it's the naked bike ride. It's just a bunch of people who get together, they ride their bikes, they're in various states of undress, and they're doing it to bring attention to a cause. And so for Mike Johnson to say that that's the most threatening, that he has seen no misconduct from any ICE agents. I watched a version of this earlier where it was Mike Johnson speaking on the left, and then on the right was just a bunch of videos of ICE like being violent toward people. He's like, no, we haven't seen anything from our federal agents that would be breaking the rules. But the most threatening thing I've seen is the naked fucking bike ride in Portland. Yeah, I wouldn't say too much fun, but I like that Portlanders are having a lot of fun making fun of ice. You know, like that they I think that this is the best thing that we could possibly be doing to go, you know, we are non-threatening. This is like we're all wearing these inflatable suits. We're being silly. I saw that a couple got married in their inflatable suits at the protest at the ice building in Portland. So yeah, it's just a love, and I think that that's probably the best thing we can do. Obviously, if they ramp up the violence anyway, there comes a point where you do have to react like Chicago is reacting, where they can't have as much fun with it, where they are having to more actively like de-arrest people and come up with plans to help make sure that families are staying fed if they can't go to work because they're afraid of getting kidnapped, right? So it's a serious situation no matter where you are, but I think that we're doing the best we can to defuse the situation as a populace. Yeah, dressing up in an inflatable suit it's hilarious and genius for what we're trying to do. We don't want a civil war. They're trying to justify a civil war by provoking us. And so basically, we just have to tolerate one side attempting to start a civil war, and we have to go, no, we're not going to participate in that. And until they back us up into a corner, I guess. Like, I don't know what the situation exactly will look like in 6 months or fucking tomorrow. I have no idea. Yeah, Hermione says, truly, I feared for my life when the naked bikers went by. The government is shut down and Trump is still murdering random people on boats, truly. The only politics stuff I've really seen this week is a proposed ceasefire between Palestine and Israel, but like always, Israel is still sniping people. Yeah, you call a ceasefire and Israel's not going to stop doing anything during that. They never do. Byron says it's hard to think about, but like they've killed people here in Chicago. Uh so I heard that there were 2 instances where ICE shot a person and one of those was a fatality. Is there more than just the one? Hi, Shakespeare. No worries if you've got shit going on. The real world sometimes takes precedence over hanging out on stream. 1,800 Palestinians being released is a big deal, though. Okay, true. Yeah, I haven't read about the details of that. So if it's Palestinian hostages who were released, then that is definitely a good thing. Itchy. Ugh. Mm. I have definitely been somewhat sleepy. I did I tell you guys that I bought a bicycle? It was maybe not the most like intelligent decision that I have made. I probably should have waited a couple months, but I saw one on Craigslist that just seemed perfect, so I bought it, and then I had it checked out, bought some things that I needed for it, like I needed a helmet and everything. So now I have a bicycle, and I've ridden it a couple times. It's actually like a lot harder than I expected. But, it's like I've been trying to get into strength training again, but I just don't think I can do strength training until I have better conditioning. So that's kind of why I'm focused on working on my cardio, and it'll work my legs as well at the same time. I got a bicycle that is specifically like more of an upright bicycle because that helps me not have symptoms. If I'm like leaning way forward, it definitely my heart rate just kind of goes goofy sometimes. So yeah, I got a bicycle. I'm fully becoming like a West Coast bullshit person. Fully. It's happening. So I'm a little bit tired, I think, because I've been like going out on the bicycle and it is more challenging than I realized. So even though I'm restricting the amount of time, I'm still like, whew, got to recover from that. Yesterday I went riding outside. And then so today I was like,
Shiloh has donated
instead,
$25.
ooh,
Zero.
thank you. Instead, today I decided to do my pedals that I have inside. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Shiloh, for the $25 donation and the 0 that you put in the comment. Hell yeah. Appreciate that so much. Everybody's support is valuable because that's grocery money, babies. And it's also $25 closer to finding out what's in the treasure chest, which I am excited to discover. It's over there. The treasure chest. This is just... I don't have this set up in a way where you can easily see the treasure chest. It's like behind the text down here in the bottom of the chat. But it's over there. I promise. Come back, chat. Where'd you go? There you go. Needing exercise has been huge. My POTS-informed physical therapy has been incredibly helpful, understanding my body better. Yeah, totally. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, I need to work on some fundamental health things with regards to my POTS, which like I speak very openly about it, partially just because like I am a disabled person, and I think that it's important for people to know that that is an even bigger problem in my life than being trans or any of my other issues. But also because like COVID can give you POTS. And so if I talk about my illness and my issues, then I'm probably helping people who are experiencing long COVID. And since that number is only going to continue to grow, I feel like it's important to continue doing that conversation and that advocacy. Are you going hipster with the fixie, though? I don't know what that means, Fragged Locust, so I don't know how to answer that question. Over the years, I've heard the sentiment, oh, you're trans, so I can't have you around my children, which still baffles me. I was invited to be a groomswoman at a wedding of a good friend of mine, which I am very excited about, but the brother of the groom has pulled out of going to the wedding and having his daughter be the flower girl just because I will be there. That sucks. I know you seem amused by this, but like I just want to say that sucks. That's bullshit. I'm glad that your presence is being prioritized over the presence of the bigoted family member. But fixie is short for fixed gear, so you have 1 speed and you deal with it. No, girl, I think it's an 8 speed. Yeah, I think it's an 8 cassette. Okay. Not going hipster with the fixie. No. Okay, so here in the valley, it's actually quite hilly. So I would not be able to get away with having a fixie, like a 1 speed. Disability has definitely been the harder part. I liked being a fabulous fashion retailer, but I can't even keep up with selling clothes. That's true. It's really hard. Shakespeare, I have a question that I wanted to ask you about. Are we connected on Discord? Do you use Discord? I was considering getting into a form of activism, basically, that I was just hoping to get some advice from you on because of your particular experience, and maybe you'll be able to help advise me. Is the bike a cruiser or like a mountain bike with tall handlebars? It's kind of a hybrid bike. It's designed for me to be able to sit more upright. So it's not like a mountain bike where you're like really folded over. I guess it is kind of like a split between the two. So like it has mountain bike qualities, but it's also like pretty comfortable for a city bike, if that makes sense. Okay, I'll message you when I remember to, Shakespeare. I'm supposed to hang out with my partner after stream today. I don't know if that's going to still happen. It depends on whether we're tired after our respective work today. If I'm not the person to help, I usually have connections for the person who can. Okay, cool. Cool. Viren says, I recently did biking in a forest preserve with hills while carrying my dog and a hydration pack. It turns out an extra 15 to 20 pounds makes exercising hard when your level of in shape is blob. Yeah. I guess, like, I do appreciate about biking that you can have really, really good cardio. Like, the dude that I was talking to at the bike store, when I was like, I just went to go check out and see, like, what's the situation? What do the people recommend? Let me learn a little bit. Let me pick their brains a little bit. I was kind of surprised to hear that he is a full-time bicycle guy. Like, he was like, yeah, my car broke down a couple years ago and I just haven't gotten it fixed. So everything I need to do, like all my commuting I do on the bike. And I was like kind of surprised because he was a little bit bigger. And I'm like, oh, his cardio must be amazing. And I bet his leg muscles are crazy strong, So that's a cool thing about biking, that there isn't like a body type. Like, there are obviously skinny people who ride bikes and they're, they're very muscular in their legs and their back. They're like butts. I was going to say their backside. It was dumb. Yeah. So it's cool though. I love biking, but I had to stop since I had top surgery and I have 3 more weeks till I can again. No. Yeah. Be good. Listen to your doctor. Take it easy, I do think biking my first 2 years of grad school helped a lot with my health generally. I hope it becomes something you can enjoy beyond being a workout tool. Yeah, honestly, like, I really do support the idea of finding a form of exercise that you just love doing so that it doesn't feel like exercise. So honestly, like me getting a bike, exercise is part of the decision, but it's like, I remember being a kid and riding a bike and like how good it felt to go fast and to like feel your heart pumping and to feel the wind on your face and everything. Like, it really just was a seriously enjoyable experience as a child for me. And like, you ride down the hills and everything. I loved it. And that's a big thing. And like, yeah, I live in an area where it is pretty bike friendly. Like, lots of places in Oregon are pretty bike friendly. It would probably be difficult to do a lot of commuting. Like, just stuff starts to get a little bit sprawled away from each other in like the greater Portland area. So getting to places could be kind of difficult, but it's good enough to get to some places around where I live. So like, yeah, there are certain trips to the store that I could make on my bike and, just kind of seeing beautiful places. There's places close enough that I can go just see beautiful shit on my bike. Yeah, so big time excited. And I want to teach my younger sibling how to ride a bike. Yeah, the exploration aspect of biking. You get to learn more about where you live and the surrounding area. Yeah, a little bit more freedom to kind of take your time and explore shit. Biking also made it so when I started lifting weights after my first year, I could just jump to multiple repetitions of leg presses at max weight. It was crazy. Yeah, I love, like, that's a thing about having estrogen in your body is like you have better lower body strength. So I'm looking forward to, as I get my stamina up on the bike and as I can go for longer and tone my legs and my ass, I'm like, my ass is gonna be so fat. It's gonna be the best. I second the trails. Almost every city has a dirt area with paths you can mess around on. Yeah, I'm not really too excited to go off-roading, including like on trails with this bike. I don't know. I'm mostly just like, let's stick to the pavement. Let's stick to sidewalks and stuff and gain some confidence. Cause like also I can ride a bike, but, and like I affirm the phrase, it's like riding a bike is true, you know? Like it is. However, just because you can doesn't mean that you have the same confidence 20 years after the last time you had a bike. Like, or nearing 20 years since I had a bike on a regular basis. So there is a little bit of like, you know, confidence in it that I would need to work on. I'm not riding around wearing elbow and knee pads. I've got a helmet, so whatever. But like, just yeah, that familiarity, and it's a bigger bike, and it's a different style of bike than I had when I was a kid. Like, I almost got a bike that was closer to what I remember having as a kid, which would have been like a wider tire, a little bit shorter, a little bit more like almost like the trail bike. And I decided not to just because like this bike, you know, was a good deal basically. So it's got a really wide turn radius and things like that that I'm kind of getting used to. It's a little bit strange. Also good that with biking, you can modulate how you ride to not gas yourself as much if the hills aren't numerous. Yeah. And living in a hilly area, you know, it's kind of obnoxious because sometimes when you're going somewhere, it's literally uphill both ways. But that means that it's also downhill both ways, right? If there's a hill in between you and where you need to be, like, yes, you have to really pump it coming up, but then you get to coast it coming down. And like, yeah, you have to pump it coming back up the other way, but then you coast it coming down. So I was actually kind of interested, and I Googled around a little bit, and basically, I think riding a bicycle, especially in a hilly situation, is kind of basically just high intensity interval training, which is not something that I have ever explored on my own because it just seems like exhausting, really. But yeah, it has that same kind of thing where like there's periods of rest followed by bursts of exertion. It's inconsistent, whereas interval training is on a set time, like 30 seconds, 60 seconds, whatever. So yeah, skating is not like riding a bike. Oh no. Wait, skating like what? Like skating, like roller skating or skateboarding or figure skating or what? Had a bike stolen, which because they cut off the fence. They cut off the fence. Wow. High intensity interval training is the best. I love training that makes you exhausted in the least possible amount of time. Yeah, I guess we're being efficient. Getting fully exhausted in as short a period of time as humanly possible. Going uphill and not stopping at all gives such a good high. Yeah, I need to work on it. So where I live, conveniently, like there is an area really close by that's basically totally flat, and there's an area nearby that's like a bunch of hills. So the first time I took my bike out, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this hill thing," and I was like, "Oh, I can only do this for like 10 minutes." It was really really tiring, and so I was like, "I'll focus and just go on like the flat area and kind of build that up until I can do that for like an hour maybe, and then kind of try to tackle the hills." Because it's two different things, right? It's the cardio and it's the leg and ass strength. So I'm just kind of working on both of those things. Hi, Mr. Baby. Are you a baby? You coming here? Oh, yeah? You're going to be picked up. That's what's going to happen. Ooh. What a good boy. Yeah? Mm hmm. Thank you. You Mr. Baby Boy. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll put you down now. Put you down. He's a good boy. He's a gross baby. He has fleas, I think. I treated him for fleas. I bought the stuff at the store, but I think that like I need to get the prescription strength stuff because I think the stuff at the store was like not just not strong enough for how small he is. Or for how big he is, sorry. May have just received some bad news. It's nothing to do with any of you guys, but just bad personal news for my partner and I. Oh my god. Wow. I don't know if you guys can hear him. What are you doing? We got a super chat. Okay. If the stream has to end suddenly, it's because my partner came home early from work. He's fine. He's fine. I want to be clear that he's fine. Thank you, Michelle, for the $5 super chat, who says, yeah, I broke something in my leg and had surgery on my ankle from skating. What kind of skating? 4-wheel skating. Okay. I'm hoping I can go back sooner than 8 weeks post-op. 4-wheel skating. Yeah. Wait. Wait. Wait for your full 8 weeks. Be good. Be a good individual. We're $20 away from opening the treasure chest, which I still have time to do today. Are you gonna be a loud little baby? Are you gonna do it? You should do it into the microphone. He doesn't ever do it when he's being held. He is purring, though. Good boy. You good boy. You good baby. Look, you're so sweet boy. Chronic NB says, a saying that I once heard is, you can only heal from this surgery once, so make sure you heal well. Yeah, if you are, if you don't heal well, you only get to do it correctly once, so try to do it correctly. Mwah, mwah, you good boy. Mwah, Mr. Baby. Mwah. Good boy. Can I put you down? Do you want to be put down? Or do you want to be up here? I don't really understand you anymore, if we're being completely honest. Ooh, we're so close to 100 likes. And we're $20 away from $100 in donations. The baby. Do you want the baby to have cat treats? Do I need to get him catnip? Do you want to subsidize his drug problem? This is now cat stream. No put down kitty. He's so heavy. It's hard to hold him for very long because he does literally weigh 20 pounds. Mm-hmm. Oh, you lick now? You lick? Kitty help with views and monies. He better pay his rent somehow. Do you deserve to be here? Do you deserve life? I bought you a new cat fountain. Do you like it? You like cat fountain? Are you gonna? I was gonna ask, is he going to stop knocking water all over the floor? Are you gonna stop knocking water all over the floor now that you have a fountain and it's moving water? Hmm? Mwah, you good boy? Kiss me. Hey, kisses? Okay. Thank you. I'm gonna put you down now. I'll put you down now. He's a good boy. The thing is that he's not done wanting my attention. Thank you, Verna Smith, for a $5 super chat who says, kitty drugs. Thank you. Appreciate you. Super chats are appreciated. YouTube takes a lot of money from you guys when you donate through there. Just so y'all know, if y'all want me to get more of it directly, my website, luxander.net, receives payments through PayPal, and that is just a little bit more direct. But I appreciate the super chats nonetheless, and they do count towards the total. So now we are $15 away from finding out what's in the treasure chest. Treasure chest. Woo! Treasure chest. I've only gone out for doctor's appointments and court, by the way. Friday, I'm one step closer. I'm going to Social Security Administration with my court order to kill my name. Hell yes. High five. I'm happy for you getting your name changed. That's exciting. It's always good. I'm appreciative of people getting their shit updated and, you know, the difficulty that goes into all that. It's been a while since I changed my name, you know. Hold heavy kitty, make strong trans. True. Yeah, I just got to hold him for extended periods of time and I'll get stronger. I'll be like Saitama. It's in cats' nature to knock stuff off of counters. They evolved to do that. My cat does not understand crime. I want to be totally clear. Like, there are cats who understand crime and they do crime, and there are cats, you know, it's one of these. Like, there's a understands crime, doesn't understand crime, does crime, or doesn't do crime. My cat doesn't understand crime, but sometimes does crime. But he does it innocently. He's like, I'm trying to get up in a window or something, and I will knock shit over, like a plant that I was trying to propagate. Yeah. I'm talking to you. It's so sad that you can't hear him, because he's like... Yeah? What? You're annoying. What do you want? You're sweet, and I love you. Honestly, I think his butt's itchy, and he just wants me to scratch his butt. You just want me to scratch your butt because you itch? You got fleas? You itchy boy? Yeah, I got him flea treatment, but the stuff was like, this is usable on kittens as young as 8 weeks. And I'm like, well, if it's usable on kittens as young as 8 weeks, I bet it's not going to be super effective on a 20 fucking pound cat. So yeah, I haven't gotten him a new vet since we moved. So I'm going to have to do some research and find a new vet and wait for my next fucking paycheck to come in and get him a new vet and get him some fucking appropriate strength flea treatment medication and maybe a fucking prescription weight loss food too while we're at it, huh? Maybe prescription weight loss? Get the kitty a lav mic. Listen, there's a lav mic on my throne wish list for like $250. Someone's already donated toward it. Get me a lav mic by my throne wish list in the description. It's actually a little set of 2 microphones, so he could have a lav and I could have a lav. 100 cat ups a day. True. Gotta get him under like this and just do like overhead press with a 20-pound cat. Crime! You're standing right underneath me. Crime! I'm just like using my foot to scratch his booty. Booty scratch. You need to booty scratch. Okay, bye. No? Coming back for more? Coming back for more. Yeah, okay, well, stop being so weird then. My cat knows crime and is willing to commit crimes. It's like, for the most part, like, okay, I think Lucy, okay, Lucifer understood crime and committed crimes, but only select crimes. It's like, I think you understand that it's a crime to steal an entire steak off my plate and drag it across the counter over to where your food bowl is. I think that he understood that that was a crime, but he still did it sometimes. Like, or if you threw away your chicken bones, like if we had like chicken legs, and if you threw your chicken bones into the trash, you would inevitably find the trash can had been knocked over in the night. Or one time I had like pushed the trash can, so it was like just underneath the countertop, like you would slide it in and it was basically like sealed kind of under the countertop. And one time I didn't push it in all the way after throwing away some chicken bones, and my partner in the morning, like it was mostly closed except for like that much sticking out of the counter, he like pulled it open to take the, you know, the coffee grounds and just dump them into the trash can, and he pulled it open and there was my cat just in the trash can. I wasn't there for that because I didn't wake up as early as he did at that time, but I can just imagine that and how funny it would be. He was like, my partner did not find it funny. He found it kind of annoying, but I was like, that rascal, you know, like, son of a bitch. Like shortly before he died too, we had some leftover chili in the fridge and it started to go off, and I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it away. And I threw it away, and like the next morning, someone had a bright orange face. And I was like, why is your face bright orange, Lucy? What did you do last night? Was it eat the fucking chili out of the trash can? Just an absolute goblin. Like, that was Lucifer. And I do want to get a cat. Like, I want to get a younger cat, but I do kind of think that, like, I'm worried a little bit that if we get a cat, especially because if you get a cat from the shelter, you can't necessarily know what their personality is going to be like because they've never been able to relax, you know? They're in a shelter environment. But if you get them home and then suddenly you do have a cat who's like, you know, my cat's too fat to jump up on the kitchen counters. What if we get a cat who is skinny enough and adventurous enough that it wants to jump up on the kitchen counters? Which that actually was an issue with Lucy too. Lucy would jump up on the kitchen counters and knock shit over and stuff. So that enabled my bad habit of leaving clutter all over the countertops, because it was literally like a way to keep the cats off of the countertops. And now my shit's clean. Like, I keep the kitchen cleaner. I have my younger sibling to help me as well keep the kitchen cleaner. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, and a cat that can get on the counters is also a cat that will jump up on top of the cabinets. And I have stuff on top of the cabinets that I don't want knocked off. And I don't want to have a cat that's going to jump on people from the top of the refrigerator and things. So I've only had cats that are really relaxed and really sweet pretty much my whole life. But it is something you are risking if you get a new cat, that it could just have a personality that doesn't work for you. So yeah, I guess we could get around that by adopting a slightly older cat who's like, you know, the previous owner can say what their personality was, because I guess that's mostly the issue with getting super young cats. When we lived with a catio, it was a constant challenge to adapt to the ways my cat would learn to break out, but he would wait until he could go unseen. He knew he had to wait. Yeah, because otherwise they're going to be like, because you're going to be like, no, come back. And so he's got to make his little escape. Yeah, they're conniving little bastards. I've only ever had sweet cats, so that's, you know, it's almost like strange to me to have a cat who would be, you know, desperately trying to escape or whatever, you know. I just don't know what I would do with that shit. I would be like, wow, this is fucking getting tiring really fast, huh? But then I don't want to like rehome a cat, right? I guess I'd rather rehome a cat than have all of us be miserable, including the cat, for the rest of our forever. But the goal is, yeah, once you get the cat, you don't get rid of it. So Glamour Claw, welcome in. We're just talking about cats and the crimes that they commit. So just so y'all know, I am planning now to do a slightly shorter stream. If my partner doesn't get home even earlier, I'm gonna bug out in about an hour, 15 minutes. Right around 5 o'clock my time. Or hold on, an hour 15. No. Yeah, I guess a little bit before 5 o'clock my time, right around the time that my partner gets home, I'm gonna get out of here. So we still have a little bit of time, about an hour and a half, a little bit less than that. Finally out of work, glad to be in chat. Hell yeah. Look at that, we have 105 likes. We've gotten a total of $85 in donations today. If we get 15 more dollars, I will open the treasure chest over there and we can find out what's in there. We'll find out. And I'll even make like a little Zelda sound. That's the sound that I'll make. Except better. Because that was just an example. Mr. Baby! Why is your tail flicking so much? Okay. Are you good? Yeah, apparently he's also been throwing up a bunch recently. Like, my younger sibling this morning was like, he threw up twice. And I was like, okay, so I guess he does need to go to a vet. The past 2 weeks, people have been dumping cats in boxes at our clinic. Oh, that's sad.
Donated $15. Lots of love. Stay happy, stay safe.
Thank you very much for the $15 donation. I'm doing my best to stay happy and stay safe. I appreciate that. I hope that you all are doing the same as well. And that brings us to our donation total for today of $100. And I will make the number go up. Number go up. Mr. Baby. Yeah? You're so weird. Okay, look at that number go up. Burr, 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 burr. Okay. That took forever. PayPal not like me. Ooh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that PayPal was being a beach. Being a B word. It's the treasure chest. Oh my god, my hat is all wonky. Okay. Is there a different treasure sound besides the one that I usually use, that I should use? I don't know. But we're going to do it like Zelda Ocarina of Time style. Buanana, 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 buanana. What is this? What's this? A note? A note. It says check under desk.
Domestic got a tier 2 subscription.
Domestic, thank you for the tier 2 sub. I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoy your Dix emoji and your custom color name. Check under desk. Okay. Treasure chest has deferred us to checking under the desk. Meow. Sorry, I'm not randomly meowing. That's me talking to him. You just can't hear him. Okay, so under the desk, under the desk. It said under the desk, right? Under the desk? Do you think it's this? Does that seem like something from under the desk that would be slightly too big to fit in the treasure chest, but something that would be very cute to show off? Yeah, I think that this is it. Wow. What a cutie. Like, honestly, so ugly. Look at her. She's so ugly, but we love her. I told you that I went to the pumpkin patch this weekend with my partner. So this is one of the pumpkins. Pumpkins. Yeah. I love them when they're lumpy. I think this might actually be the first lumpy one that I've purchased for myself because I liked it. Because look, It's like the parts of it are different colors though, right? If it was all like this, I wouldn't care. But the fact that some of it's green and it's only the lumpy parts that are green, like listen, she's cute, okay? Pumpkin. It's a gourd, indeed. Thank you everybody for donating. I'm sorry if you don't find this as exciting as I do. But I was like, I want to share the pumpkin spirit. It's time. It's that time of the year. We're only 2 weeks away, actually. 2 weeks and in like 2 days. I'm so excited that Halloween is actually on Friday. Like I get to have a day off and have my hangout on Friday day. It's gonna be good. I'm just gonna hold this for a while now. As a kitten, he was conniving, but he's gotten better with age. True. What is not exciting about pumpkins? Are you going to toast the seeds? I have never done before. I don't know. I don't really have a plan to toast the seeds. We usually just throw all that shit away. It's a lot of post-processing that I don't really care about. I don't think that they're delicious enough to really warrant the extra effort that goes into doing that. So usually that's just trash or compost, I guess, in an ideal situation. Yeah, gorgeous, true. You are in a very inconvenient location. I have a squishy standing pad thing, and he's like literally just laying all over it right now. Hey, this is where my feet go. Can you... There. Okay, I guess that's better than nothing. Yeah, you just gonna settle back down? Okay, perfect. Great. The pumpkin flesh is a lot of work, but the seeds are really not that much and they are tasty. Well, I don't know. It's like there's goop, though, with the seeds, and I have to separate the goop from the seeds. And like by that point in the process, I am gooped out. I don't want any more goop. By the time I have all the goop out of the pumpkin, I'm like, I'm done with goop. That's what I'm saying. Is like, and it's like it's not good enough end product. I'm like, oh, it's just gonna be a fucking hard, like crunchy, unpleasant thing that doesn't even taste that good. I don't know, man. Maybe I just need to have them made by somebody who has done it a lot, so that I can appreciate it better. I do try things, like I don't know. I'm autistic, and I'm a little bit picky. I'm not very picky. I'm a little bit picky. Pumpkin seeds are so delicious. They're one of my major sources of potassium now. Oh, man, maybe that's a good idea. I need to increase my potassium intake. I just got some of that liquid IV stuff, and I'm so sad because it's so nasty. Like, I'm legit. I'm like, oh, it's really upsetting how nasty this is. But you just got to treat it like it's medicine, I guess. You got to treat it like it's medicine and not a water that you want to drink. Like just treat it like a thing that you need to guzzle down. You need to gulp it down. Goop is no bueno. Like, yeah, I get all textured out. I love getting all deep in on the goop during the process, but yeah, it's like cum. You know, cum can be kind of sexy, but there's a period of time between when it now exists in the world and when it becomes really unsexy, and the amount of time that takes is about as much time as it takes to cool down to room temperature. So it's a limited window you're working in there, you know? If that liquid IV stuff was not so expensive, yeah. I actually wanted a specific brand that is in my Amazon wish list right now, or like my Amazon cart, but I was really feeling it this morning, and so I needed to go to the store anyway, so I went ahead and grabbed just whatever they had at the store just to be like, let's try it, let's see how it works, let's see how bad or good this is. Cliff, go do some farm stuff now. Hey, have fun with that. Yeah, hopefully you get to have a break soon because we're getting to the end of harvest season, and I know there's a completely different set of tasks in the winter, but hopefully like less overall time consuming shit for you to do. Speaking of, I should eat my vitamins. Definitely. I did that at the beginning of the stream. I had just eaten a snack. I've been doing this snack recently that honestly is not like my favorite. It really hit the spot like the first day I did it, and now I'm like, oh, I probably need to stop. But I got some of those fiber tortilla wraps. That's like a tortilla but super healthy, you know? And I cut up some cucumber. I put in some Greek yogurt. I had some leftover black beans that I made for dinner recently. Like I didn't need all of them for the dinner, so I saved some of it for my lunch. And feta cheese along with like some salt, some garlic powder, some onion powder. And that has hit the spot a little bit. I kind of overdid it today. I did not expect the com analysis to get me saying, oh, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. You're welcome. I'm glad that I was here for you. I'm Aussie, so different season, but still busy. Oh, girl, well, you're going to be busy. Sorry, girl, emphatic, like, dude. Yo, you're going to be busy for a while then because it's like springtime just getting into summertime. So you're just going to be busy for the next like solid 9 months. Anyway, have fun. Faulty says, pumpkin seeds, dried apricots, beans, and a couple varieties of mushrooms are my go-to potassium sources. I can't eat nightshades, so the U.S. major sources of it are a no-go. And bananas are disgusting. Ah, I like bananas. We haven't really been eating that many bananas because I've been doing this whole, like, I'm buying all of my produce every week from the farmer's market. And so everything is, like, a little bit... It's like seasonal, right? And it's all local. So I haven't been having avocados or bananas or anything. Probably going to go back to doing that kind of stuff this winter, of course. Like the farmer's market is going to close soon and it's going to be done for the winter. And yeah, so maybe I'll get back into doing stuff that needs to be shipped here during the winter here. But yeah, bananas, avocados, coffee. It's black walnut foraging season. Ooh, I have no idea how to go about doing that and what would be entailed. Like how to identify and everything. That's a cool concept, though. I probably have a book about it. Pacific Northwest foraging. Who wants to bet that I have something in here about black walnuts? Let me go to the back of the book and find it that way. Black walnuts. This is a favorite activity of mine, is finding out whether something someone mentioned in chat is, okay, I don't have black walnuts listed in here under black. What else would they be potentially in here under? Or is this not something in the Pacific Northwest? Allergic to bananas. Ah, sad. I blended black bean paste with leftover chicken gravy to make a goulash once. Not bad. Oh, that's exciting. Would it be under walnut, comma, black? Walnut? Nope, I do not have anything in this particular book about walnut. Interesting. I was trying to find something recently. There's a plant here called salsify that I was trying to see if it is forageable. It has a root vegetable thing that you can eat on it, but it wasn't in any of my foraging books. It did end up being in my Encyclopedia of Country Living, but not my foraging books, which I thought was weird. Let's see. Is black walnut in my Forager's Harvest? Let's go to the back. Black walnut. Ah, black walnut, page 160. We can learn about it together. Is this on a page about something else? What? I'm trying to find where it's like, this is on a page called Butternut Bloom or Butternut. Like, what What is that? Okay, something differentiates the butternut from its close relative, the black walnut, blah, blah, blah. But why isn't anything about black walnut in this book? You son of a gun. That was the only mention of black walnut in this whole book, was like, oh, it's kind of similar to this other thing, but not. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. All right, well, I give up on that for now. I'm not going to open up my encyclopedia of country living. Oh, it's maybe because you're in upstate New York. Maybe there aren't as many on the West Coast. Great. Now I'm waiting for the Luxander / Primitive Technology collab. Yeah, that would be fun. I do hope to own some land someday so that I can, you know, build shit and prepare for the future of things falling apart and shit, but my partner brought up the idea of a bug out bag, and I was like, where are we bugging out to? Like where is there for us to go? What are we doing? I'm like much more interested in prepping for the big one, really. Like, I don't know what a go bag is going to do for me at this stage. The bad news that I got earlier is like, so Facebook is horrible because I'm like, I went to see if like any of the people I know in person are talking about this bad news, and I'm just getting a lot of bullshit. And like, or maybe people aren't talking about it, but I'm like, how did my partner find out? If, yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. Anyway, I guess I'm not going to find out anything about this on my Facebook unless I go find the specific people who might be talking about the bad news. Bad news, bad news, bad news. Go bags are great for natural disasters like wildfires and hurricanes. Gives you something when you're in a stadium with a couple thousand displaced people. Yeah, okay, that's true. Okay, I agree with you. I am in Oregon. So, and the part of Oregon that I'm in doesn't really struggle with wildfire because I'm in the valley, and the valley just doesn't have that many fires, or not very many big fires. We also really aren't at risk for hurricanes. I'm far enough inland. There's a mountain range in between me and the ocean, so not too terribly worried about the hurricanes thing. The one thing is the earthquake, the big one, the earthquake. And I think that the recommendation for that is to shelter in place. Like, so long as your building is still intact. I think the idea is you're supposed to shelter in place, or I don't really know. I guess I need to look into that more. The Black Walnut. Okay, Black Walnut isn't in the PNW, almost entirely east of the Rockies. Okay, that makes perfect sense why it's not in my Pacific Northwest foraging book. Yeah, I know walnuts are good for lots of stuff. The husks stain everything dark black, and I hear they can be used for henna tattoos. Ooh, nice. Black walnut barely grows into my area, which sucks as they produce my favorite wood to work with. Ooh, yeah, yeah. My partner brought me home some wood from a pallet recently because I asked. I was like, hey, I'm thinking about building something like some pallet wood. We have this like pantry, but the shelves are like too far apart. And so I want to build like a shelf that can go basically just like a thing that is supporting itself with like little wooden posts or whatever, but just like basically create an additional shelf to create like double the amount of space in there. Yeah, I don't know. Got some wood products or some wood woodworking, wood building activities that I've never done anything like that before, by the way. I've never like made something structural from wood. Uh, so I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. You know, taking all my measurements and doing cuts and everything and all that shit. Butternut was mentioned as an ingredient by my tea company, and then I found out it was somehow related to nuts. I have never heard of butternut. I've heard of butternut squash. Did you know that butternut squash has a weird enzyme in it that will destroy your skin? I found that out by cutting open and processing a butternut squash without knowing that that was going to happen to my hands. Ask Jimmy about woodworking. I appreciate that. I don't need to ask. You know that I have a cis man at home, right? We have cis man at home who has all a bunch of woodworking tools and all that kind of, like, my partner brought me home the wood off of a pallet because I asked for it. Yeah. I will bother Jimmy if I feel like I need to, but probably not. Goop, cum, and nuts. Quite a live stream. See? This is what you're here for. This is what you want. This is what you pay for. Importantly. An old supervisor I had at Lowe's made his house deck using pallets as the base. Yeah, and there's all kinds of shit. Like, you know, there's a culture of, like, reclaiming, you know, the mixed in with the reduce, recycle, reuse kind of shit. Like, reclaiming wood pallets and making shit from them is a whole subculture now. So, cis man in his 30s does all but guarantee some amount of woodworking tools. Skills with those tools, on the other hand. Yeah, I guess for context too, like, my husband was the son of an OSHA safety officer, and they consistently did house improvement projects like building a deck or building a set of stairs in their garden and stuff like that. And my partner was expected to help with all that stuff. So my partner has been working with tools and wood and stuff like that for basically his entire life. So that whole, like, growing up as a boy, he definitely got, like, the maximal level of privilege you can get as a middle class boy in terms of, like, all of the skills and all of the tools and all of the, like, things that you're being exposed to as a kid. Like, he got a ton of that male privilege stuff. And, you know, of course, I had to, like, learn how to use tools much later, and so I have less confidence with it and shit. A family member of mine made Christmas trees out of old pallets for a season or two. They were cute. I know. Listen, okay, so I resent that the Christmas section at Walmart is currently bigger than the Halloween section at Walmart. It ain't even fucking Halloween yet. But I was just thinking, like, oh yeah, I was thinking maybe we should get a Christmas tree after we move. Because currently I have one that, like, the tree itself is only like this tall, and the rest of the height is made up of just, like, a little base that it sits on. So I have a little tiny table tree that's, like, hold on, that's like this big total from top to bottom. And I use that as home decor, but I would need to get, like, I don't know, like, we don't really have the space. I was kind of like, where would I even put a bigger than that tree? I guess we could hang it from the ceiling. I've seen people do that. Usually they're doing it because of their cat, but I could get, like, a 4-foot tree and, like, hang it from a hook in the ceiling or something. I don't know. I do want a bigger one than what I have now, but it's just, like, maybe not the right time for it. Where I come from, tools rust if exposed to outside for, like, an hour. Oh, no. We have cis man at home. Sounds like that episode of Futurama on the Amazon planet. I was just trying to invoke, like, we have McDonald's at home, or we have food at home. That thing. The wood and pallets can vary incredibly, but they've been the source of wood for lots of shelving and box projects for me. It's amazing how shitty they can be, though. Yeah, my partner was like, oh, this palette that I have right now at work is like really good wood. Did you want it for something? And I was like, yeah, I did. So he broke it down. He like ripped it apart and removed all the nails and brought it home. Have you head pat a cat girl today? I haven't personally, but I do know that Naomi got plenty of head pats in the Discord channel today. I have a small foldable artificial tree that I can put up on a small table. Yeah. Basically, what I have right now is a tiny artificial tree that I can put up on a small table. I just would like to get a bigger one someday, but I just don't think we're actually working with much more space now than we had before, so... I'm not oblivious to the irony of being a trans femme who's simultaneously planning an orchiectomy and hunting for nuts. You're a goober. Naomi did not get nearly enough head pats, though. That is a potential problem. Like, yeah, maybe there's a gap in how many head pats are required to how many head pats are being provided. Okay, I need to rest my voice for a second and make sure that my partner is okay. Oh, no, I don't need this. Okay, I'm gonna put music on for you guys while I'm gone. I don't know what music it's gonna be, though, so we're just gonna kind of pick a song and guess. Okay, back soon. song is almost over. I'm just gonna go and stop it now. Hello, everybody. I'm back. Guess who's back again. Who else is digging the synthesizers? Makes my inner gamer happy. Yeah, that's Jazz Dog. It's we listened to like a really old album of Jazz Dog's. He actually asked me to play more modern music of his to get like to the people would have a better idea what he makes now. And I just haven't taken the time to like go in and build a new playlist of songs. So yeah. We will get some updated chiptunes from Jazz Dog at some point. I'm at a point where I would want to take... Are you talking about the nails from, removing the nails from the palette? Dissolving the nails in some vinegar and using that for home ebonizing and dyeing? Ooh, like dyeing with, like the iron in the nails or something? That's cool. Shakespeare left earlier. That's okay. Okay, thank you for moving so that I can stand on my own fucking pad now. Thanks. Hey. Oh, hold on. Let me fix that. Are you happy now? I fixed your things. I've been overwhelmed and underwhelmed, yet rarely do I find myself perfectly whelmed. Reflecting on finding my whelm. Yeah. Honestly, like, I think that there's just, like, more work to be done, as always, on, like, interpersonal relationships. Like, I was kind of struggling with something I was dealing with my partner, and we finally kind of talked some of it out, and, like, not everything is perfect, but we're in a time where we just had a couple of difficult conversations, and now we're kind of, like, cooking, thinking on it. We just had a wonderful anniversary, and like I am realizing how important that is to my overall function. Is like for my core relationship to be okay, or at least like improving, I feel so relaxed in general. And then like I guess I did have a weird fucked up dream last night, so my subconscious is still kind of catching up. But yeah, it's crazy how much more relaxed I feel. And so I think like finding whatever the thing is, like you need peace about this one thing, and once you get peace about that thing, you finally fucking can relax. Like, ugh. Go get some tea. I feel like the breaks that I take are not like long enough. Like you have to boil the water and then put the water in and steep the tea, and then once the tea is done steeping, you have to remove the tea, which is wet, and I can't do that at my desk very easily. And then you have like the milk and the honey that you have to put in your tea, so it's like it is a 10-minute process. Meowdy, everybody. Yeah, Baphomet, so eepy. I feel like I've been God's eepiest soldier this week, but I'm on my fucking period. So, oh my God, guys, like, I don't want to go into far in depth because, like, obviously y'all don't give a shit about this, but, like, I am on a form of birth control that's supposed to basically make you not have a period. I have the thing in my arm, and I just had one out of nowhere for, like, after months of not having one. I had one out of nowhere, and it was, like, brown. And then a week after I stopped that, I have now started again, and it's cramping again, and it's fucking bright red, and I'm like, why? So that's great. Just like 2 in a short period of time. I want to have my organs removed. I learned the best slang here. Hell yeah. We have all the best conversations. Okay. My cat. So because I don't have time to brew tea, I did pour myself some kombucha. I have some new booch that is now ready to drink. This is the last from my previous batch. And the new stuff I'm hoping is going to be sweeter. This one is a little bit more on the vinegary side, which I like, but I am going to see if we can get a little bit more, a little bit more of the sweet element to it. Hello, Ben Jules. Kay says, I have the Mirena and I haven't had a period in a couple of years now. So my problem with the Mirena was that I did not stop cramping for 7 months. Basically, like I would maybe have like a couple days here and there, but like it sucked. It was the worst cramping I've ever had, and I hated it, and I wanted to die. So I got it removed. It was the worst. Reminds me to check on the mead. Oh God, I would love to make mead. And now I found a place where I can buy like a quart of honey. So I can get like a significant amount of honey for probably a bulk price. Yeah. This is not my favorite. Fun etymology fact. Whelm and overwhelmed used to mean the same thing, with overwhelmed being unnecessarily repetitive. Oh, okay. So you were either whelmed or underwhelmed. And then people started saying overwhelmed. I guess I should be clear. The birth control part of the birth control is super duper effective. It's like literally more effective than a vasectomy, the type of birth control that I have. But yeah, it's just like there's no guarantee on it stopping your cycles or anything. I feel like with the amount of D&D I do, I'm going to need to try mead at some point. Mead is pretty good. If it is not aged enough, it can be kind of astringent or like just not very pleasant. So you definitely need a mead that's had proper time to age. But it's light, it's delicious, it's it's flavorful. It reminds me of the word honeymoon, literally referring to giving couples a month's worth of mead. Girl, I would take that in a heartbeat. Raspberry mead at the Ren Fair the other week. Hell yeah. That's wonderful. Have I ever asked you what your favorite dinosaur is? If not, what is it? Wonderful. I don't know if you have. So my favorite, okay, so if we're being conceptual, oh my God, I felt like I was going to sneeze and it just won't happen. So if we're talking a conceptual dinosaur, like in concept, then my answer is like some form of pterosaur or quetzalcoatl, something like that. If we're being technically correct, then my answer, I believe, is chicken. Because of tasty, and I eat it a lot. So that's kind of my two-sided answer to that question. Does that satisfy all necessary preconditions under which the question could be interpreted? I had mead the last time I went to a Ren Fair, and it was okay. It's like wine, right? Like wine can be really good, or it can be not good, like, so mead, you can't just say like, I love mead, because it fucking depends. I have to pay a lot more attention to my phone now because I get work texts. It's like really kind of obnoxious. It does satisfy all necessary preconditions. Okay, good. It's like, I can answer this question from two angles. What, like, technically a pterosaur is not a dinosaur, so, but it's like, yeah. So if you're asking what was my favorite creature that was alive at that time, okay, Arden is telling me tea. Okay. Is all mead insanely sweet? No. So it sort of depends, right? Because, okay, so here's the thing about making alcohol. The alcohol that you make, the strength of that alcohol is kind of dependent on the quality of the yeast. Because here's the thing. Yeast produces alcohol as a form of waste. And so when the beverage becomes very, when a beverage becomes very alcoholic, it starts to kill off the yeast. And also, like, the yeast is also eating all the sugar, and as the sugar goes away, They might not have as much to eat, whatever, but they're mostly dying because of the alcohol in the environment. It's a waste product. It would be like if you were swimming in urine, right? And breathing it. So, a lot of the time, people, when they're making mead, will use like a bread yeast, and those don't produce high alcohol meads. And therefore, like the sugar hasn't been all consumed by the yeast, and so you end up with a sweeter product that has less alcohol. Now, if you do get brewer's yeast, which is a higher proof, basically, like it's capable of producing wine and stuff at a higher percentage. So that kind of wine could be, and it also depends on how long you let the yeast go for. Like you can stop the yeasting process by like cooling or like bottling or whatever. So yeah, basically like it depends on how you make it, but a lot of the time mead is going to tend to be probably made with like a less strong yeast. But it depends. Read the labels. If you're not getting like someone's a gift from someone who made it at home, because you cannot sell it if you made it at home. If you're getting a gift from someone who made it at home, then you might not necessarily know exactly the ABV. But if you go buy mead in the store, which you can do, there is mead that you can buy in the store. I've done it. You can read how the percentage, and if it's like less than 10%, it's going to be very sweet. If it's closer to like a wine or even higher than a wine, I think up to maybe like 20%, like the most strong mead you could get would probably be like a 20%. So hitting the liqueur range, that's going to be like a more dry mead. And then again, the longer you let it age, the more kind of that mellows and the sweetness can come out. So even a high ABV wine can end up a little bit sweeter if you just let it age for longer in the bottle. So yeah, I looked into it. I really got super interested in making mead. So there's kind of a lot that goes into it. And especially it's like, it's a fermented product at the end of the day. Like it's not exactly the same as beer and wine, but it's quite similar to beer and wine. I honestly feel like wine and mead, they're basically only separated by what type of sugar you use as the base. Because it's the same process effectively. And therefore, like, is a raspberry mead functionally a type of wine? Like, yeah, kind of. What did you say earlier, Baphomet? Quetzalcoatlus is a crazy answer. By the way, extremely cool dino. They were terrifying. Is dank mead a type of mead? Tends to be 19%. Ooh. Ooh, my brother has lavender and champagne year in his mead. Okay. I don't know what champagne year is. That's maybe a typo. But lavender in mead sounds crazy. Lavender honey mead. Oh, God. That sounds delicious. Sorry, that burp was weird. I have to be careful. I've kind of figured out that I can't really do more than about 5% alcohol. Well, then mead might be a good way for you to go. I have also found that alcohol that has more tannins in it makes me feel worse, both while I'm drinking and the next day. So like this weekend, for us to celebrate our anniversary, we got gin, and we got really clean, dry gin to have gin and tonics. So it's like I make my gin and tonics, like I try to do just like one shot of alcohol, which is 1.5 ounces or 1.75 ounces, depending on who you ask. So about 1.5 ounces of 40% liquor. And then the tonic water with the quinine is like a pain reliever, as well as the lime juice. Yeast, not year. Oh, okay. So Verna was saying my brother puts lavender and champagne yeast in his mead. So it's like a strong lavender mead. That's cool. Yeah. I'm a fan of Loki Ceratops. I haven't heard of that one. Okay, girl. Okay, she's cute. Listen, she's a cutie. She's got it going on. Have you ever had fried gator? No, I've never eaten fried gator before. That does sound fun. Oh my God, y'all. I have watched a couple of horror movies recently because we're watching them for the podcast. So I watched Hereditary and I was just like, girl, what the fuck? And then we just watched Midsommar, which I don't want to go in depth on it because we talked about it on the podcast. I don't want to like. Our first episode, the one about Hereditary, just came out. And then we just recorded our episode about Midsommar, which is going to come out in like 2 weeks. So we did a little spooky, and we're also going to do 2 more Ari Aster movies. So we're now watching Beau is Afraid. Lokiceratops holotype. So the bones they originally found, that specimen is called Frederick. And I think that's adorable. Yes. Did you guys finish Midsommar? Yeah. Ben ended up staying for most of the rest of it, and then Arden and I did the last like 45 minutes. I had to finish it regardless because I was recording a podcast about it. We could go back in and finish watching it if you guys would like to. It was weird. It was weird. If you were given fried gator and told it was just chicken, you'd probably believe it. Fair. Any thoughts on scotch? I don't actually know if I've ever had scotch properly. We are a whiskey house, for sure. My partner's recently been on Four Roses kick. So Four Roses whiskey, but I don't think I've ever done scotch. Perhaps. I never get to see the ending. It's a fucking 3-hour movie. We were watching the director's cut specifically, so it was longer. That's the one that I was asked to watch for the podcast that we recorded an episode of. But man, and so is Beau is Afraid. Beau is Afraid is going to be another fucking 3-hour movie. What makes scotch different to like other? Is it just whiskey that's like been aged weird? What is scotch? Scotch whiskey, right? It's a thing. It's like, or maybe I've had scotch a bunch of times and I just don't know it because I just drink whiskey. You need to have some scotch after declaring this is a whiskey house. Yeah. It's like we don't drink rum, really, we don't drink vodka, gin sometimes, whiskey most of the time. If we're drinking whiskey is more on the table. Like we like to drink wine sometimes. I'll get mead occasionally. Beer on a pretty regular basis if we're going to be drinking beer is an option. And that's kind of what we do. We're also not really big on cocktails. I like the idea of doing cocktails. It's just a lot of work. Scotch is whiskey from Scotland and regionally different in flavors. Okay. Are you allowed to just drink scotch like normal? Like, can I just have a little... Usually I just pour a shot in a shot glass because I can easily tell what the measurement of that is. And then I just like drink it, sip it a little bit, maybe take like two or three beverages from it. Scotch is also aged in sherry casks. Okay, that makes sense. Bourbon whiskey is USA trademark only. Scotch is Scotland. I think we end up drinking bourbon a lot of the time. I recommend Lagavulin. It's a fine scotch, a sensory experience. Ooh. Okay, so Scotch is Scotland in the way that champagne only refers to that specific area in France. Cool. You just drink scotch. The only mixer I would use is ice or a little water. Okay. Yeah, I have seen people do that. They'll take like a couple droplets of water and just like drop a little droplet of water on the top of their whiskey, and it like causes some of the oils to separate out of the whiskey. There's like oil in the whiskey from the barrels. Like that's why it gets the brown color from. Is from the wood in the barrels, and when you drop water in it, it creates like a film of oil on the top that just changes the flavor slightly. So it's cool. I don't think we can get bourbon right now, or at least we couldn't here in Canada. Is the trade stuff affecting whether you guys access American products too? That might be the first I've really heard of that. Like my partner and I are thinking about stuff like, oh, there's some technology stuff that we should probably buy before too much time passes, because we're about to get hit with another 100% tariff on Chinese products. And, he wants to get stuff like a radio, like an old radio, or like a walkie-talkie system, or stuff like that. And yeah, as soon as I'm not fucking buying every single thing on credit right now, I gotta say it was not the most appropriate timing for me to buy my bicycle. But I have credit cards to rely on, and then I'm gonna get paid better this month, and I'm gonna get paid even better next month. So Canada basically retaliated with their own tariffs and stopped importing certain American products. Okay. Our premier took certain or possibly all USA alcohol off the shelves, at least for a while. I don't buy a lot of alcohol, so I'm not sure. Okay. This is making me want to check if we have brandy for a hot toddy. What goes into a hot toddy? Because I think that maybe this winter might be the first time I try a hot toddy. I've never had one before. But I know, okay, so whiskey, hot water, honey, and lemon juice, often garnished with a cinnamon stick. Is the overview correct about that? Hot water, whiskey, honey, and lemon. Oh, yeah, see, that sounds good. But I'm also looking forward to doing Vassal. I want to do Vassal like several times this year instead of only like once. Of course, one of the big products they've started importing in Canada is American alcohol, which has hurt certain American brewers a lot. Yeah, well, it's like, it sucks that people just have to suffer, and like, I don't know, I guess like the businesses that are exporting bourbon from the United States are probably, maybe they've donated to the people who are now fucking them over, so sucks to suck maybe, I don't know. I do an alcohol-free hot toddy myself. They yum. Hell yeah. I mean, yeah, aside from the whiskey, hot toddy, just like lemon, maybe some spice, hot water, and lemon, and honey. It's basically just a thing that you would drink when you're sick. And then add the whiskey in there. Like, okay. Hot toddy is one of those drinks that has lots of variations that are labeled the same. Okay, then I would go find a how to drink episode and have him explain. I'm going to have Greg explain to me variations on hot toddy. We're also at a point in Canada where even if this liquor from America was on the shelves, a lot of Canadians are boycotting and not buying it. Okay. Nice. The hot toddy recipe I'm familiar with is black tea, brandy, lemon, and honey. Okay, so instead of hot water, doing actual tea, and then specifically brandy, and not just whiskey. I'm assuming brandy is a type of whiskey, though. Ooh, add some concentrated ginger syrup to a hot toddy? Girl! That sounds good, actually. Yeah. I have a Canadian in YouTube chat and a Canadian on website chat who are just all in agreement. Like, Canadians are not buying US alcohol, even if it were on the shelves, and it's not. Yeah. I'm actually, like, I never thought that I would be a person who's like, I'm excited about winter. Maybe it's because I am not concerned about the snow really this year. I'm like, if I want snow, I'm going to have to drive to the mountains to get snow. So, yeah, man, but I'm so here for it. It's like I'm waking up and it's chilly in the morning now, which means that I can wake up and bundle up in the morning. Ugh. Oh, I thought okay, your boyfriend in Canada, is that it, Baphomet? Like, you visit Canada, but you don't live there. Also, you're not Canadian, so that was my bad. Mulled wine is great in the winter. Yes. I thought brandy was distilled wine. Is it? What the fuck is brandy? Hold on. What is brandy? Brandy is a spirit distilled from fermented fruit juice, most commonly from wine. So it's distilled wine that has then been aged in a wooden barrel. Okay, so that's why I think of it like whiskey, but it is okay, so you take wine you distill wine, so you end up with a clear product, and then you put it in. So I don't really see that ended up being much different than a whiskey at the end of the process. Okay, weird. Guess I'll try that sometime. Dude, the whole situation sucks because I think Canadian Border Patrol is becoming more aggressive against Americans, just growing resentment. Yeah, I would have to just be like, yeah, man, I get it. Like, I'm fucking sorry, man. Like, I tried to vote better than this. Like, I did what I could. I did my part. I'm sorry. This is part of why I have no interest in international travel. Like, obviously, there are a lot of reasons why I'm not interested in international travel, but a huge one is that I don't need to be catching strays. Like, I am sorry I was born here. I can't help it. I wish that I could control that. I cannot, though. I unironically got turned away at the border despite visiting for nearly 10 years consistently with no issue, which means I have to get stopped and interrogated anytime I want to come up. Yeah, so for one time, they arbitrarily and capriciously decided not to let you in, and therefore that's now a mark on your record. So every time you go there, they're going to be like, why did we not let you in that one time? And you're going to be like, I don't fucking know. There's a type of mulled wine in Michigan called Witch's Brew that is amazing. I think I've only found it in Michigan. Yeah, I haven't I don't think I've ever had mulled wine. I think I probably would just buy wine and then warm it and add spices myself, probably. Which I guess you do end up with like a more concentrated product at the end. I think maybe this time I would like to get some hard apple cider and make Vossel with hard apple cider. That's a similar thing to mulled wine that I've been doing the last few years. I get apple cider and I'll get the raw spices in there, and oftentimes I'll, add some lemon, or I'll put a roast apple in there or something, let it kind of warm on the stove for a while, let it smell up the house real good, and then drink it as a little nice thing. And you can just add whiskey to it. So you can make a non-alcoholic version and then add your own whiskey to it so that everybody can drink it. I haven't really done that either, but also I could use a hard cider and then have like a hard Vossel, but then my younger sibling wouldn't be able to drink, so. Yeah, exactly. Jess says, I've made it myself, mulled wine, which fills the house with the smell, which is also amazing. Yeah. I guess, yeah. Are you just adding like warm spices to the mulled wine? So what is it? Is like a red wine probably? Is there a particular variety of wine that you use for it? Or do you buy mulled wine and then just warm it up at home? Because I'm imagining I would just buy like a red wine and then add like a sprig of cinnamon to it, add some star anise to it, let it just kind of brew for a while. That's just my kind of intuitive sense of what mulled wine is about. And again, maybe a little bit of lemon, like cut a couple slices of lemon and put it in there and let it go for a while. I think the thing that hurts is that so many countries are boycotting everything US, even though only about a third of the total population started this downfall. So many people who wanted nothing to do with this are hurting. True. And that's just like that. We are not unique in that, right? Like, this is the case everywhere. Like, think of the Russian people who for years have been cut off from the world because of the actions of their government attacking the country of Ukraine, and like the people there being cut off from things like payment processors. So think of this, like artists in Russia who already were doing something that is questionable as far as legality. Like maybe they're a furry artist or a queer-friendly furry artist, and they're making their money by defying their government, producing this artwork, and providing a service for people in the West, like Western countries, compared to Russia, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then because of the country that they do not support, but they happen to have been born in, attacking a neighboring nation, then they can no longer make money through PayPal because PayPal has decided that they're no longer processing Russian payments. Like, oh, fucking K, right? Like, so this has always been the case when there's like geopolitics and conflicts between nations, is like there's a bunch of people who don't support this, who don't like it, who don't want to be part of it, who end up screwed because we have granted more legitimacy to the idea of a state than we give to the sovereignty of individual human lives. How I make mulled wine or mulled mead. Oh, mulled mead is something I hadn't even considered. I think it would be, you'd need a really strong mead. I think if it was too sweet, it would not be pleasant unless you added a lot of lemon. But yeah, just vibes-based spices with warm flavors. Yeah. Okay, so for mulled wine, we are saying red wine, warm spices, and orange slices. Orange slices. Okay. I'm into it. I'm here for it. You let it boil down a lot. Yeah. So you end up with like a fairly concentrated, strong drink because you have to let it simmer for a little while. You don't want it to boil, I don't think, because you don't want it to like burn, but you do want it to simmer for a while. Maybe I'll try that. I'll try a mulled wine this year. And I'll do Vossel and mulled wine. We'll try two different things. What's more appropriate for Halloween? If I wanted to do one of these beverages on Halloween, ooh, you know what? We're gonna do pumpkin carving this weekend. Oh, I already did my grocery trip this week, though. I wasn't thinking about it. Like, we could do one of those beverages that day and have it smell really wonderful in here while we are carving pumpkins. Yeah, you don't want the alcohol to burn off with the boil. I mean, it's going to be evaporating off anyway. I don't know. Yeah, is there a way to get it to boil off the water without it also boiling off the alcohol? Which one's going to go first? Is the alcohol going to go first? Like, alcohol dries faster than water, evaporates faster? I don't know. So maybe you don't want to let your mulled wine boil away for a long period of time. Maybe you only want it to get like warm enough and like spiced enough to drink. Okay, alcohol has a lower boiling point than water, so if it's boiling, it will lose a fair bit of ABV, which could be the goal. Sure. My brother-in-law does a variant where you have the wine with spices, and then you soak a sugar cone in high-proof alcohol and light that on fire. This makes it melt into the wine. Comes out strong and tasty. Ooh! That's crazy. That sounds crazy. I wonder. Oh, yeah, crock pot. Put it in the crock pot. Yeah, but yeah, sure. In any case, if I'm just warming it up enough to drink it, like, because if it's in the crock pot, if you're trying to prevent it from losing ABV, it's also not going to reduce down in intensity. Or sorry, it's not going to reduce down and concentrate and get rid of the water either. So you're still just ending up with like a product that's warm. And I guess like hypothetically, the longer you let the spices sit in it, the more they release. But like, I feel like you're going to enter a point of diminishing returns with you're not getting more benefit out of the spices after a certain period of time of them soaking. I don't know. Do you ever feel like it's hard to say the term soaking without thinking about Mormons? Yum yum. This is kombucha, if I didn't already mention it earlier. It's delicious mixed berry kombucha. Gotta get the probiotics. Gotta have some good gut health. I had a little bit of yogurt earlier. Now I'm having the booch. I ended up throwing out the kimchi that I had bought a couple months ago or a month ago or whatever. I didn't eat it fast enough. I'm like, I don't trust kimchi that's been sitting in the fridge for this long. I'm too innocent to think of Mormons. Yeah. Yes, I am drinking a fruity beer that hasn't finished cooking with extra probiotics. Yeah. It's just booch. And then my brain just gave me I'm just Ken. Like, I'm just booch. I don't want to continue trying to figure that out, but just so you know, that's what my brain did. Mm-hmm. Oh no, we get to ruin Dally's day. Hold on. Dally says, I came from a fundamental evangelical background, and soaking was related to relaxing music. I didn't know soaking was related to Mormons. So you know how a lot of religions have a lot of rules about whether you're allowed to have sex and stuff? Well, the Mormons have determined, the youth, the Mormons have determined, like, oh, well, you know, whatever. The way that it specifically is worded or whatever, like, they think that there's, like, an exception if you don't actually experience friction. So there's this thing called soaking where they just put the penis inside the vagina and then they just sit there. And it's you know, it's like teenagers trying to skirt the rules about how they're not allowed to have sex. So it's like there's fully a penis inside the vagina, but allegedly it doesn't count because there's no friction. So that's what soaking is. And then there's the related practice called jump humping, which is when you're soaking and you get a friend to jump on the bed so that friction happens inadvertently. But you didn't do it, so it doesn't count. They're trying to trick God, basically, is what's happening. They're trying to trick God into not noticing that they've had sex before marriage. So now you know that information. Shaky Shaggy, welcome to the website. What's up? How's it going? Cool that we're still getting new people trickling in here this late in the show. Oh, nope, twisted the wrong way. There we go. Yeah, now you know things. Yeah, you joined right as we're talking about Mormon teenagers trying to skirt the rules about not having premarital sex. Small Frog says, I am the friend who jumps on the bed. Does it work for same-sex relationships? That's not allowed. I don't think that even putting the pee-pee in the butthole is allowed. I think that at that point you're immediately in trouble. But I don't know. I don't really understand how the gay thing works in Mormonism. It would be harder to get a friend on board to jump hump for you because the friends are also going to be disapproving of gay shit. I think I prefer the music version of soaking. True. Yeah. Jumping through a lot of hoops to have sex. Yeah, totally. I am sorry to be the bearer of that information, but it's like I know it and I want to share the pain with you. So. And people call my religion silly. Yeah. Mormonism is goofy. Like, if you've ever watched the South Park episodes about Mormonism, if you haven't, you should, because actually it is quite informative. They have a little thing that pops up at the bottom of the screen periodically that makes it totally clear. Like, what we are doing right now is describing the Mormon belief system with no elaboration or like this is as straightforwardly as we can tell you what they actually believe without exaggeration or embellishment or anything. They have a little thing on the bottom of the screen when they're doing that because it sounds fucking crazy. It sounds like you're trying to make fun of a religion when you just state the facts about what they believe in terms of like Joseph Smith and where he got his revelation from and all this. Like, it's pretty crazy. Strange thing, I've been listening to a few ex-Mormons and I guess they just hadn't discussed that yet. Maybe it's I thought it was a Mormon thing. Maybe it's an evangelical thing. I don't know. I associate it with Mormons. Let's do a watch party of badly made made for Mormons movies like Baptist at the Barbecue. True. I'm itchy. Yeah, I don't really even understand the magic underpants thing. I don't really understand that whole part. Been listening while doing a massive overhaul on my bedroom. It's cluttered and makes me feel like less of an adult, and I'm taking a small break right now. I need to organize my bedroom. Honestly, my bedroom and my office are kind of fucked up right now. Partially because like I installed an entire second computer in here, and so there's like trash and stuff from that, and like what do I do with some of this extra stuff that I need to store in case I ever like leave this job and I need to send any of the equipment back and everything. So anyway, yeah, it's been and like my bedroom, because I'm not in there very much, it's really easy for me to just put shit in my bedroom and be like, I'll deal with this later. And now there's like an accumulation of that problem that I now have to go through and organize it a little bit better. I'm trying to use up my yarn so that I don't have as much yarn storage. Like I want to try to start breaking that down and minimizing it. This dress is taking forever, but I did start finally working on the third ball of yarn out of 4 total balls of yarn. Chris Woodcock, are you still with us, or did you just come in and make that comment and then leave? What are you talking about? Dumb. Yeah. I guess we were talking about Trump earlier. Maybe you're behind a little bit on the stream. My understanding is that the underwear is supposed to be a barrier to being possessed. Oh, okay, cool. I crochet. I do not know how to knit. Well, I've tried it a little bit, but I'm proficient at crochet, so that's what I'm working on. Here, I'll show the project I'm working on right now. This is my oh, Dum 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 is from the Mormon South Park episode. Oh, okay, cool. That's the name of the episode. Okay, cool. Anyway, where's my stitch marker? Here it is. Need this. So this is how far I've made it right now on the dress that I'm making. There we go. And it's down to like below my belly button now. I can't back up any further or I'll hit the wall. And so I have basically most of an entire third ball of yarn, and then I have a fourth ball of yarn. At the bottom, it's gonna have like some lace. But yeah, so that's what we're working with so far. Fun. I was gonna work on it more tonight, but I have to be present for my person. You're good, Chris. No worries. Occasionally, Chris, we get trolls in the YouTube chat. Very, very rarely. So sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, hey, are you being silly in the chat?" Like, yeah. So, but you weren't being silly, so it's not a big deal. Only $300 on Etsy. Are you talking about the dress? Like, if I sold this dress, probably, yeah. The yarn by itself, when I finish this dress, that 4 balls of yarn. Now, to be fair, my mother-in-law purchased the yarn. I cannot imagine buying yarn that's $15 per ball of yarn. I guess I'm getting a lot out of it, but yeah, she spent $15. So the yarn itself for this dress is going to be $60 plus all the time I've spent working on it. Yeah, like $300 easy. What yarn brand? It's I think it's an independent creator. Queensland collection. Australian superwash wool. Oh, okay, maybe this is not an independent brand. This is like a made in China thing. Okay, so Queensland collection. That's what I'm working with right now. I could sell $300 dresses on Etsy, I guess. Like, the fact that I don't want to do it, I would charge even more. That's the thing, is like, I don't want to do it. Not familiar, but the colors are great. Yeah, this one, it's called, Rainbow Peach is the name of the color, but it's got like lesbian vibes, right? Like the orange, pink kind of thing happening. So that's cool. It's good to have little projects. Ooh, I also I did a new watercolor for the first time in a while. I think I'm going to go ahead and post a picture on Patreon. That'll be a little, like, for only $1 a month, people. I'm trying to just, like, post on there more often. So, yeah, I'll post a picture of that watercolor on there. And I'm working on another watercolor that I was going to work on tonight, but probably not now. But yeah, want to make sure we're still doing creative things, you know? We're investing time. I had no idea you were crafty. Yeah, I don't spend as much time doing it as I want. I'm really trying to get back into it. Someone taught me how to crochet when I was like 12, so that's a skill that I just have forever now. And I've got my guitar. I don't really play it as often as I want to. I've got the piano in the other room that I don't play as often as I want to. I really want to get my ocarina out. Ooh, now that I'm thinking about that, as soon as I get done on stream, I'm going to go get my ocarina and bring it into my office so that I can play my ocarina. Yeah, you'll got to get some kind of like varnish or sealant or something if you have a wood necklace. You could also like infuse it with oil, even just from your hands. Like if you touch the wood a lot and you get your oil into it, that way it won't like shrink and expand anymore. And then seal it up could be good. Keep the wood more stable. I just finished my body doubling task of sewing hardware on some thrifted corduroy pants. I learned to spin yarn from roving this summer too. Nice. I have my sewing machine and I would like to get it set up, but I don't really have a good permanent place for it to be. So it's really going to be like when I decide I'm going to sew, I'm going to set up a temporary table and sew for a couple days and then put it away again. But I don't really have any sewing projects up top. I do want to re-dye a skirt of mine. I want to take the dye out of it and then re-dye it a different color. I was going to re-dye it like purple, but now I don't know if I actually want to do that. It might be better if I do like an orangey color or something, because I'm getting really into like oranges and greens, or maybe some kind of green, like an earthy kind of green color. I don't know. It's like pink and orange right now, so I want to take the color out of it and redo it. That's kind of like the craft stuff that I've been thinking about. Anyone else scared to get on the internet running Windows 10? I think I'm going to have to really look into Linux. I think that they're going to end up extending their support for Windows 10. I was watching a video recently about how, like, in previous times when they have stopped offering support for one of their operating systems, it's usually an operating system that only like 2% of their total customer base is still using. But right now, I think it's like more than 40% of their customer base is still using Windows 10, including like businesses that are using that infrastructure for their businesses. So I just don't think that they can completely stop supporting it. Like I think that represents a huge security risk, and it's an insanely greedy decision. Hey.
Jom_Gervo has donated $5. Have to sign off, but glad I caught the stream. Needed some laughs. What was in the treasure chest?
Thank you very much for donating. Inside the treasure chest was a note that said, check under desk. And then I checked under the desk and I found this crazy pumpkin with a bunch of lumps on it. So that's what was in there. I just thought it was cute and I wanted to show it off. My cute little guy, my little baby, my ugly little son. Thank you for your dono and thanks for hanging out with us. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Windows 11 is pure garbage. I'm stuck on Linux until they get their heads out of their butts. Yeah. Naomi says that they've extended support until 2026. It's almost like it was a bad idea to try to force everyone to arbitrarily change their hardware to match the arbitrary change in OS software. Yeah, because that's the problem, right? They like the jump, like my partner has a beefy computer. His computer can't run Windows 11. Like my husband is a gamer who has a computer that is almost as good as mine. The only reason my computer is the best is because it like horked itself last summer and we replaced the CPU and all that shit kind of in one fell swoop. We had a little bit of savings for that. And yeah, so I have the best computer in the house. Well, I guess technically now I have two computers that are good enough to run Windows 11. I haven't switched on my primary computer. The new computer that I have for work is on Windows 11, and I can see why it's convenient in some ways, but also I do find it to be kind of a huge bummer. That yeah, they're trying to like force people to buy a brand new computer. Like that's what they recommend as the solution to the problem of like no longer having security coverage on Windows 10 and not being able to run Windows 11 is like, how about you drop $1,000 on a new computer? Like, how about fucking no? The TPM chip requirement is stupid because most older motherboards do not have one. Yeah, no kidding. I also don't like how they're forcing you to let them screen record everything with their AI integrated BS on Windows 11. For USA, it's a subscription they're offering for support, and EU gets it for free. Oh, ew. Yeah, no, I don't want that. I'd get the AI off my fucking computer. I didn't ask for it. I'll ask for it. Let me opt in. I will opt in. God, that's obnoxious. Okay, well, I know it's a little bit early today, and I'm sorry for that. Things popped up today, and I want to make sure that I'm present when my partner gets home. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Thank you so much for donating, those of you who donated. Thanks for hitting the like button. I appreciate you being here for just some relaxed time. I am, as far as I know, I'm planning to be here on Sunday. So the rest of the month, I'm pretty sure we're just going to be on a regular 2 times a week schedule. I'll let you know if anything changes. Always check out the Discord if you want to get the announcements for schedule changes. And I'll see y'all. Oh, I'll be on Takis tomorrow. So if y'all want to see me tomorrow, I'll be on Takis. And then I will also be on Calling It Now on the Jimmy Snow channel tomorrow. And I will post links to at least Takis. I'll post a link to Takis in the Discord. And I don't know, maybe like I'll do, I don't know, should I do a notification for Calling It Now as well as Takis? Because it's like 3 hours later. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.